when I started my business, I started with this mindset. I need to prove myself. I need to show that I'm good. And because we are in the business of like branding, marketing, business strategy, I have to have the perfect website. I have to have the perfect social media. It needs to be beautifully designed. It needs to be this. It needs to be that. And I used to operate with this. Well, if they look at our website and it's not good enough, well, they can't trust us. They can't hire us because clearly we're not showing that we're good enough.
Yeah.
That was high-functioning anxiety, being good enough, proving that you're good enough. But that makes you get you stuck because you're always refining. You're always working on improving. You're never good enough. You're always improving yourself. And I recognize this in myself in work scenarios, but also in personal life.
Yeah, but just want to ask you, so do you find though, because you're wanting to like keep perfecting and nothing ever feels good enough, you can always do better, do more, etc. Do you find that sometimes you actually hold back from moving forward on things? So it's almost like you need to move this project forward or the website forward or whatever it is that you're focusing on at that time. But because you're so focused on it's never good enough, you never actually get the website off the ground, you never ever get the business plan going, you never reach out to a client because you're always trying to make sure everything has to be perfect before you can put yourself in the public space.
Absolutely. The interesting bit is because we are two co-founders, Alina doesn't have this. So she doesn't operate with the same filters, the same beliefs. So, and because there's two of us, I feel like I'm responsible to her and accountable to her. So when I spiral, she steps in and says, calm down. It's good enough. We can send it like this. I'm like, no, but we can work more on this and more on that. And let's stay a little bit longer on this bit. No, we're ready. Let's move. And then again, because I'm responsible and accountable to her, I go with what she says. And that's how we played it initially until I became aware of this, let's call it conditioning, high-functioning anxiety. And once I became aware of it, I'm like, okay, at least I know what's happening for me so I can address it. And now it doesn't feel like I'm just doing whatever Alina is saying, following her lead. Now, yes, I'm following her lead whenever this situation happens, but I'm also acknowledging that this is the better option. And I'm also recognizing that I'm addressing a pattern that I have that's coming from high-functioning anxiety. I'm not just blindly following anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you've got that sort of buffer with having a business partner. Some people don't have that, but it's great that they can sort of know each other that well. But also what I just came to my mind, a thought is that when you have high functioning anxiety, you're like a lot of people, when they get highly stressed, they sort of go, you go into that fight flight mode, or freeze even, where you don't want to move. But the thing I've noticed with what I've been reading about and understanding of high functioning anxiety is that you're very capable of doing everything. So you look like you're very, on it. You're high energy. On the outside, you're looking like you've got everything in place, everything organized, you're focused, you're on it 24/7, you're completely in control. But it's what's going on underneath that's the problem. The outside world, it looks like, wow, this person's incredible. But underneath, it's all these other issues, like we talked about, the imposter syndrome and the fear of failure and all that going on underneath that nobody sees.
So there's a turmoil inside.
Yeah. And then how that then, if it's not dealt with, can then lead to things like not only health problems, but how you interact, your relationships, not just with your loved ones, your family, but your business partner, your team around you, all these people, your customers, your clients, all these kinds of things. So it has a much wider, broader effect that people are not aware of. And it's not until you realize, maybe this is something I'm having a problem with.
I've always felt very lonely in this because on the outside, yes, people see somebody who's confident, bubbly, energetic, on it, always prepared, and they don't get to see what's inside. And when I say, I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I'm scared, they go, what? No, but you're so ready, you're so prepared, you're so capable. You don't get to understand what's inside. And to me, that felt very lonely, very isolating. Somebody with high functioning anxiety needs to prepare. They never just shoot in the dark. We
Yeah.
need to know exactly what the next step is. We need to have the path in front of us. And I still struggle with this because, for example, maybe I have a meeting with a client and there's not enough context and I can't really prepare a lot.
Yeah.
And I stress and I worry about it. And again, I have to remind myself, you can think on the spot. You are resourceful. You have ideas. You've been through this before and you know what to do. You are ready. You are equipped. You have enough. I need to constantly remind myself about all of this in order to calm this anxiety. But something that helps me a lot is actually talking about how I feel. So having somebody to share this burden with and create that connection is amazing, because otherwise, like I said, it's very isolating and you're suffering alone.
Yeah, and I think yeah, I can completely understand that, because as well, particularly as an entrepreneur, I think it can be you're very much alone a lot of the time.
Yes.
Even though obviously there's other entrepreneurs in the world and other people who've gone through similar things, but ultimately you is a very sort of isolated career path, if you like. And as you increase, as you become more successful, as you have, all these things going on in your life, you don't have time for the normal friendship social circle.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem a lot of people have as they sort of, their business grows and they're doing more and as I said, becoming more successful, that this sense of having no one to talk to. And I think having to find those groups of people that may be somewhere where you can feel safe talking about, the stresses you're under, and it's very hard to find, I would think.